All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with Summayh. Thank you for joining me, Summayh.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. All right, cool. So we're gonna have a bit of time together.
Mm.
Let's dive in straight away. What would make this coaching conversation really useful for you?
Well, for me, I have been trying to figure out how to start with my own coaching business and be trying out some different projects. Basically, I'm a teacher in high school and done some NLP, and also now for the last year, I've been doing some career advising. So for me, the challenge has really been how to be able to focus 100% on my currently what's going to be my side hustle. Right now it is, but I've met some challenges lately. Of course, I'm prepared to meet the challenges, but lately it's been a little differently because of my job as a teacher. The schools were locked down and we had, teaching digitally from home. That worked very well. I liked it to be at home and serve the students from home. It was very nice. I enjoyed it very well. And then the school started 50%. So there were days that I was like 50% at work physically and then 50% at home. So it was a very the time schedule. Everything changed very suddenly, and then plans changed for every week in the last month for the school. And that was very, that created another time scale for me that I couldn't give that much time to my own project. So I went to a freeze mode there because it was mostly like, the survival mode in my own work because using those 24 hours, I now used extra time in my own work, to make new plans for the students, new tests, everything just was changing. So what I would like to really get coaching on or, to talk about is how can you actually keep on doing with your, sustainable routines when there is so much changing around you? Because at one moment I thought, okay, now I can do this because I was at home teaching from my own computer to my students, and then suddenly the changes are, coming so rapidly. Like every week there was something changing, so I needed to, okay, new routines, and besides this, I was doing my own studies, 100% studies, besides my work. So I was going to have my own exam, and even there were changes. So I felt like, making new routines all the time for the last almost every day, and that got very exhausted. So I needed some time off, and now I've been taking my time off to, okay, relax. Now it's summer vacation in school. So getting back again and having some sustainable routines. So yeah, that's really where I am right now. Like I would like to, I've been working on a youth program that I was going to release in September, but now we are postponing it. We need to work differently, try to make solutions digitally. Yeah, so right now it's like, how do you cope with all those changes happening so rapidly, and then still have focus on your own goals, because yeah, I am an overachiever. I love to do more than just my work, and now I have a lot of ideas right now that I'm working on my projects, and then always changing those routines. It gets a bit exhausted. So I felt like, to be honestly, I felt like I was in a hamster wheel for a long time, and then reinventing some new routines that's going to work just for this week, and then reinventing, oh, this week, and then my own exams, and so the plans didn't work the way I planned it, because I love to make 1 month plan, and then I'm doing this, and then suddenly every week there were changes. So yeah, basically that would be my question, like how do I continue with some sustainable routines when I still have to change, because there are changes right now, and I still don't know, when the school opens in August. how will my schedule be? How will things be? Because usually we know this before the summer vacation, but now I have no idea. So we're just going to start in August, and then see what happens. Are we going to continue with physical classroom teaching, or are we going to continue from home?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I am basically right now. And alhamdulillah, I am proud because everything with the school, with my own students, all they passed, and I myself as a teacher and also a student, I passed my own exams, and alhamdulillah, it all, I'm proud of all the results and so far. But like with my own projects, I haven't been able to see the results because of all the change. And then I, took some time back and paused, like, okay, relaxed, small steps. But it's kind of frustrating when you don't see the results in your own projects, besides, work and your own studies. So yeah, that's probably what I am most curious, because now I am in vacation mode. So I'm like trying to work a little bit on my own projects to kind of find out how to start, because right now all the students are on vacation, so it's not much to do with the audience. So how to really have those good routines, because I don't know what I'm going to. I don't know how the routines, how my schedule, anything will be, just from the school, when the school year starts again in high school. So yeah.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being really honest. I think, we're just going through a crisis, right? And, depending on when people are watching this, right, we just went through, we're just coming, some countries are coming out of the lockdown, right? So yeah, naturally, there's a lot of shifts. There's a lot of change happening, right? And it's, from what I'm hearing, is you've adapted quite well to it, right? And you've performed well in your job. And you mentioned you were a student. Is that still going on, or is that finished now?
It's finished now, but that was part one. So I would like to take part two for next year. So I'm still, I have my plans to do that for another year, because it's so cool when you are making this happening, then you just want to do more.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. What is that about?
That's about, I've been teaching in math and science. I love that. And then when I started being more interested in self-development, and, mostly I came into that through my own students, because I saw that me as a teacher, I need some more competence in order to meet my students' needs. So then I just, stumbled into career advising. And I was thinking, wow, this is something I want to do. And then I started doing it, like, without any formal education. But I started doing it, and I had some own projects, and that went very well. And then, I was invited by the career advisors in high school. They have this monthly gatherings. And then my own career advisor from my own, when I was a student in high school, he contacted me and saw some of my projects. And he was like, well, maybe you could share some of your experiences, even though you're not working as a career advisor, but you are doing your projects. Yeah. And that just made me understand that, okay, this is actually something I can do professionally, because I saw that I had the experience that I had. So someone also said to me, well, there's just 1 year you could just study besides your work, and then you have the formal education. You can actually work with this, in your own school. So it was just interest. I've always been really interested in that field. So I started, taking that 1 year. And then when I finished it, or almost finished it, it was like, now you need 2 years in order to, work as a career advisor. And I was like, okay, I started, so why not just another year now? So alhamdulillah, I was very excited, how can I do this? Like 100% job and 100% studies. I mean, how am I going to do this? But I try to use, all the techniques that I've learned through my own NLP courses, and there's no limit. You can do this if you just make the schedule, and that worked very well. And that's why I'm extra proud of it, because the lockdown happened and there were a lot of changes, and still I was able to do this with a very good result as well, alhamdulillah. And I'm just thinking now that, okay, this is, whenever you get the results and you're able to achieve those goals, I got those, I can do more. So so that's how I got into it. And now I'm just thinking, well, this is something I can use in my own projects. I haven't decided yet, because I love my job as a teacher, teaching math and science, but it is also possible to, who knows, I can start something for myself, or even work in the school to begin with, to see how it goes. But then anyway, I will have the opportunities. And I know that the youth, because that's the youth that I've been working a lot with, they are, the youth who are so lost and don't know what to choose, what subject, what studies, what to do with, their education. So this is something that interests me a lot, and that was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. So it's very good to have done that and, passed the exam, and now I just want to do more. But then again, I just get that feeling that, oh, I want to do some more on my projects. And now I feel a bit stuck with those projects, because right now it's just been postponed.
Yeah. Okay, so let's slow down for a second, right? So you're teaching full time. You really, I can see clearly, like when you're talking about it, there's a passion there. You enjoy it. Now you did a 1-year study in career, becoming a career advisor, and that's another year, right?
Yeah.
So, and then on the side, you want to also build a coaching business. So it sounds to me like you enjoy doing all three.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing. Let's slow down things, like, because I think a lot of us have been in that position. I've been in that position where I want to do multiple things at the same time. Right. So let me ask you, if you could be in a position where money wasn't an issue at all, right? So, just imagine, you have all the money that you need in your bank account to fulfill all your needs, for your family. Everything is there. How would you spend your time?
I would definitely love to be more at home. And work with the youth one-to-one, or even in groups, where we focus on self-development skills, that I wish that I had when I was as young as they are now. Basically, because it is working with the youth that gives me, the kind of drive to continue, because I see how it helps the youth. Like, they really, light up, and it's like, okay, they need this. It's not something, you get the result just right there. And this is, it's so motivational to just continue with that, with working with the youth. So yeah, I would like more flexibility, definitely, like with the time that, I don't have to be at work from 9 to 4. And that's what I liked with, working from home. It was a lot more flexible. It wasn't the hard routines, like, you need to wake up extremely early. You need to, be in a rush, get home, and then make the dinner. It was so relaxing. I could just, in the lunchtime, make my dinner. It was so, I could just do things the way I wanted to do them and still work from home. That's what I liked with it. So I think that would be, my dream reality, to work from home, and not needing to be somewhere stuck somewhere for a couple of hours and then returning back home.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically doing some work with the youth that actually helps them to, development and career advising, because I know and I have been doing that with a lot of youth, and I see how it works.
Yeah.
And how
Okay,
that
cool.
helps them.
So let me recap that, right? So you're spending more time at home, assume spending more time with family, doing work with youth, one-on-one, working from home, and having a level of freedom, not just being stuck, not just having fixed hours, 9 to 4. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
can you also see how you can bring the passion that you have, because there's a combined passion there, right? Coaching, teaching, and career advising. Can you see how you can bring that into your work?
That's why I mentioned that I do love my work, because the interesting thing that is happening right now in the Norwegian school system is that we are having the new schedule, and there is something called life mastery.
Yeah.
That is new, something very new that is coming into the Norwegian school system. And the cool stuff is that I share a lot at work from my own, passion. What I like is that we right now, that's why I like the school where I work as well. They are very, they're working, how can I put this? So they are working to actually give the students the skills they need for the future.
Yeah.
And then do things differently. So for the next year, I'm going to work some percent of the teaching time. I'm going to give it to work, for the whole school. How can we actually bring life mastery into our subjects?
Yeah.
So that's now part of my work, and I believe, I want to do that as well, because that means the whole school system can change by doing that. It's not just, me who's working with this, but now I can do this work in my school, and now I am getting paid for it, because that's 1%, some percent of my work. So I guess that's what's kind of why I don't want to, just start for myself, because I know that when I do work through these projects at my own school, then I'm able to, reach out to more students, and more importantly, also to the teachers.
Yeah, exactly. So let's slow down again, because this is a very interesting point. You see, I think it's a misunderstanding and that we always have to work for ourselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like that, right? It doesn't mean that you're successful once you have your own business, because you can be very happy within that system, and you could probably also bring more coaching into it, right? So that sounds like a great project. You want to bring life mastery into schools, so more personal growth focus, right? So going back to the initial thing that you came to in this conversation, like how can I build? Because here's what we do, right? When we want something, we very quickly go into the how to. How can I, we have this limited time, it's 24 hours, and we try to manage it more and more and better. What if you didn't need to do that?
Yeah.
You see, it's not so much, the way I see it, it's not so much about managing time, right? But it's about, because you're going very fast, and I can relate to that. It's not a judgment, because you're an overachiever, you want to do a lot of things, but sometimes when we speed up so much, what we don't see the actual opportunity that's in front of us, right? Because when you slow down, what if your coaching projects were not separate, your youth work was not separate? What if you made that part of your work? And I know that
Mm.
from what I'm hearing is it's slowly coming to that level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
How can you do that more consciously? How can you bring more of your, coaching work and youth work into your schoolwork?
I can definitely do that. I have, I got a lot of ideas.
Mm.
And then for some reason, I just decided that, okay, I need to do something more, but, not at work, but elsewhere, because that's what I've been doing. I've been doing, speeches or seminars for the youth, but that's been not at work. It's been outside the work, like the libraries or different places. So it's interesting when you are asking this. I'm like, I'm actually not doing that kind of work at my own school. So an idea that has popped in my head is also, we have 1 hour lunch breaks. We have different activities for the students. So I have been thinking about this idea, but I haven't really done something about it. But like I could start a club, like self-development club, or because we have different activities for the youth. So that could be something I could start, to just yeah, start with some subjects, something that the youth find interesting, and then out from there it could be developing into something bigger and more than just at our school. So that's one way of doing it. I've also discussed some ideas with my other colleagues that are also interested, in not just doing your own stuff, but also learn and share the knowledge. So we've been talking about maybe we can make a school TED talk, like and share the knowledge, because we have almost 200 teachers at school. It's very huge, a high school. So
Yeah.
there are definitely a lot of knowledge there that is to be shared, other than the subjects that we teach. So that's also been an idea, but then again, I haven't been starting those ideas yet, because I've been thinking, okay, I'm already doing this at work. Maybe I should just do something more besides, because now with the corona and the lockdown, I had some seminars, but then we canceled them because they were physical seminars. And then I've been working on, okay, how to do this digitally, but then I never came so far with all the stuff that I needed to change and do the things in the work. But it's interesting when you're saying that. It's like, maybe I can just start there and then see what happens, because I know that would be beneficial, and I definitely know there will be interest for that at work.
Yeah.
Mm.
You see, when you slow down, you get
Yeah.
back, you get present. Because what's happening is, you're thinking about the past, like how busy you've been, and you're already thinking, well, I have a bit of holiday here, but then it's all gonna start again. I'm gonna be working, I'm gonna be studying. How am I gonna manage my time? Right? So rather than really looking into the future or looking into the past and the future, if you get present here, you will see that there's a lot of opportunities for you.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
and here's another thing, because I noticed something, and you mentioned, when I asked the question, what would you do if money wasn't an issue? You mentioned spend more time at home, work from home, do the work with youth, have more freedom, right? But part of you wants to, stay connected to the school,
Yeah.
right? What if you could have both?
Yeah, that's true. It's not either or. Maybe it's just, melting them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. This is interesting. Like, just when you said that, I started thinking about ideas now. How to make that, not to, think so inside that box, but outside of it.
Yeah.
There are many opportunities. there is. I just need to, slow down
Yeah.
and pick up one idea and then start,
Mm.
creating.
Yeah, exactly. You see,
Mm,
coaching is all about relationships. Like building a business is all about relationships. And you
mm,
already have a lot of existing relationships in this current school.
mm,
There are people that know you, like you, and trust you.
mm.
They know the value that you can bring to the school, right?
Yeah.
So part of that could start when you're still there, right? Look, we don't need to take a big leap. We don't need to all of a sudden leave and then,
Mm,
start focusing on the business. For some people, that's the right thing. If you have a lot of savings, that could be the right thing, right?
mm,
But it's not always the right thing. You could also just slowly, start a few projects there. And
mm,
here's the thing, right? The more value you add to a person or an organization,
mm,
right, the more they will pay you. Because that's the business we're in, right? It's about creating value for
mm.
people.
Yeah.
Because one workshop for your school could be equivalent to your whole month's salary,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
But because you have those connections already, you could cultivate that. You could do
Mm,
more projects there,
mm,
right? And again, I'm not saying that this is the way you need to go,
mm.
but the reason I'm sharing this is to show you what's possible.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
in the moment when you get present, you said, what I want is to work from home. I want freedom, but
Mm.
I want to work with people. I want to work with youth and coach them.
Mm.
And then you went back. And here's the thing: often we go back because part of us is scared to let go.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. I'm just, creating. There are some new connections in my head going on right now. Yeah, because there isn't like either or. Because I guess that's the point where I often feel like, I don't want to leave my job.
Yeah,
I really like it because I like the way I can work with the youth there.
yeah,
And if I'm gonna, leave my job, I wouldn't have that audience that I have at work. Because then I'm gonna have to create a new audience. I mean, and then of course I'm not gonna reach out to that many people. But then again, it doesn't mean I have to stop. I can just continue where I am and then see what happens. Yeah, interesting. I
yeah.
just got a couple of ideas
Mm.
to do from August. And then I can, continue using my platforms as they are right now. Because I do have some platforms where I'm, sharing some quotes, and then I feel like, oh, I should do some more. But then I never find out what else I should do. Should I do some live videos? What exactly should that be? But then, I could actually talk about the projects I'm doing at work. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Like I could share my experience from there and then relate to that, to other youth who are out there. So maybe I
Yeah.
could actually start a podcast. I'm thinking about it right now.
Mm.
Yeah. Now this is great because I'm just getting a lot of ideas popping up. So I'm thinking about I'm just gonna get my notebook and write them down
Yeah.
later on. But this was interesting that I don't need to get to somewhere else. I don't need to start from something new. I can just continue where I am
Mm.
and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And
Mm,
look, while social media can be useful, it's we don't need we often look for new people or new, you know, different people to serve, to connect, to help.
Mm.
But often, if we just slow down, the people in front of us, there's enough people there,
Yeah.
right? And I think, and this is a great example, is when we slow down, that's when insights happen. That's when ideas come,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So are you open for an experiment?
Yeah, I am. It's a yes phase now.
Yeah, good. Look at what value you can create for your current school,
Mm.
and create something for them. And here's the thing, you don't need to think about how much you're charging.
Mm.
Create something and be bold. Something that
Yeah.
adds value to the students, but also to the whole school. And it can start like a small project where you
Mm.
maybe, where you're bringing coaching into it.
Yeah.
And here's what you see, what's important is for us to understand is that there's nothing really wrong with having a job,
Mm.
but there's only so much time we have in a day,
Mm.
right? And because our time is limited, the impact that we can create in the world is also limited because of that.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. I got 3 ideas already.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was powerful. Like, yeah, I'm just running so fast. I need to slow down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is in any times of crisis, what we do is, because things are happening so fast, right? We either
Mm.
freeze, we either freeze, or we kind of get into fight mode,
Yeah.
right? And we react, and sometimes we don't notice it, but we become reactive.
Mm.
And what's really important is to create space where we're just thinking, where we're just slowing down.
Mm.
Because when you slow down, you can see the bigger picture.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, this was cool. I got 3 more weeks of the vacation. I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cool. Tell me, like,
Mm.
what's one insight you got from our conversation?
Um, Even though you have a plan, you don't need to, stick to that plan. You can, change it and also be open to new perspectives, really. Because now I allowed myself to slow down and be open. And that changed a lot. Yeah. So I would say that's one thing, to be open minded, just to be open to new perspectives and slow down and um, yeah, to trust the process, really, because because related to my reality, it's like I am already doing a lot of things, but for some reason you have the feeling that, oh, I need to work harder, I need to, you can do more.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but you are already doing this, but maybe just, yeah, slightly changes and continue doing what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be a new project, it doesn't have to be something more, but changing the way I am doing things right now. And then, yeah, be open for new opportunities, because, yeah, that's where I haven't been looking for them. I've been thinking, no, I'm going to start something new, and then, new people, new arenas, but I already have a huge arena and there are new students coming. So I know that from August, I'm going to meet some totally new students who's going to start, first year in high school. So that's where my new project starts. That's what I'm thinking about right
Mm.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And what is one thing that you can put into practice in the next 24 hours or 48 hours?
What I'm gonna do next is just write down all my ideas, because there are a couple of ideas that popped up, but I've been, and also that I have so much more that I can give at work. So it's not about playing small or anything. It's just that I know I'm good at this, but it doesn't mean that everyone at work knows, and it's not about showing off or anything, but it's about letting people that you work with every day know that, okay, this is my skill and this is something that can benefit.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be very open and share my competence and the things that I can, what can I say, what values I can give, which are more because I've been working there for almost 5 years, and then it just becomes a system sort of. This is how it is, but like what I'm thinking about right now is when I'm going to start in August, I'm going to think of this as a new job. And not
I
think
love
that,
that.
okay, this is where I have been for 5 years, but like, no, this is a new year, and it is almost a new job, and it is basically because I'm not going to be 100% teacher. So, and in that way, because I remember the first year how things were, and how now everything is, normalized, and everything is just, yeah, it's very different from the first year. So I was thinking about maybe when I start in August, I'm going to think that, okay, this is new school, new year, new students, my new job, because that's the way my attitude, everything is going to be different, I
Love that.
think.
That's really powerful.
Mm.
And that's also the fastest way to achieve your goal. It's not to work towards it, but come from that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I look forward to see what will unfold for you.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
playing full
you.
out. And for those that were listening or watching this, share with us in the comments what's been one insight for you. And I think there's been so many valuable things here. So share with us what's been one insight and one thing you put into practice. Cool. Thank you very much, Sumaya.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care.